Hey there guys, and welcome to today's video tip from tipsforlawyers.com. Today I want to have a talk about how to give a better presentation. All lawyers are going to have to give presentations. It doesn't matter whether you're a student, you're a graduate, or you're an admitted lawyer. You're going to have to present to people. It might be clients, it might be other lawyers, or it might be at a bigger seminar or a convention. But either way, you're going to have some strategies under your belt that allow you to give a better, more engaging, more memorable presentation. One of the things lawyers struggle with in particular is delivering a presentation that doesn't send their audience to sleep. If you're this person, hi and welcome to my presentation today. I've got a 5,000 word paper that I'm going to read to you. Then, in case you haven't realized it, your audience probably looks like this. So, giving a better presentation is a great way to stand out because lots of lawyers really struggle in this area. It doesn't matter if they're good advocates or good lawyers technically. A lot of lawyers have a great deal of difficulty delivering a presentation that's actually interesting, that's engaging, and that allows people to get involved and take away some valuable points and memorable tips. So today I've got 4 tips primarily designed to get you to deliver a better presentation that's more engaging and more memorable for your audience. Tip number 1, you've got to know your content. Now that doesn't mean you write out a presentation, that you memorize it, and then you deliver it. No, what I mean is you need to know your subject matter. You actually have to have a good understanding, a deep and a broad understanding of the subject matter of your presentation. It's only from that that you can distill the necessary and important and relevant points for your audience, because you need to know all of the content. You might need to know 5 or 6 or 7 hours worth of talking points to deliver a 1-hour presentation, because as the presenter, it's up to you to deliver the most relevant, most useful, most beneficial information for your audience. So you've got to know the subject matter really well. Just because you're delivering a single case study doesn't mean you don't need to read 5 or 6 cases and 10 or 15 articles to deliver the presentation. It arms you better for questions, and it allows you to deliver your content better, and it also lets you stay away from your notes, which we're going to come to in a minute. Tip number 2, if you're going to do visuals, so you might do a PowerPoint presentation or a Prezi, do it right. Do not write out your entire presentation on your Prezi. Do not write out so much detail that people don't in fact need to listen to you at all. Your presentation, if you've got a visual, is there to enhance what you're talking about. It's there to back up you as a presenter. It's not there to substitute you as a presenter. If I can get the same thing from reading your PowerPoint slides as I can get from listening to you, then you serve no purpose. I might as well go back to the office or home and read the PowerPoint slides and not waste my time listening to you simply reading from them. So if you're going to do visuals, make them engaging, offer a different perspective, create graphics that are actually memorable and interesting for people. Don't just write out so many dot points on your slides that you actually don't have to be there at all. On the flip side, write out just enough on the slides or the presentation to allow people to remember what it was you talk about. You might have some visual cues, you might have some good graphics, you might have a memorable catchphrase or a quote. Give them just enough so that it fills in their memory if they're having trouble getting back to what it was you talked about. But don't use your PowerPoint as a substitute for proper preparation. Make sure you've done it well, make sure you give them enough to remember, but not so much that you don't have to be there. Third tip, make sure you've got a theme. You have to have a point to deliver. Before you even go about writing a presentation, decide what your point is going to be. It might be pretty simple sometimes, like a case study or like a particular piece of legislation that you're talking about, but have an overarching point, have a message that you want to deliver, because from that, the content that you've gone and learned about will be able to be distilled so that it all directs your listeners to the theme. It should be the first thing you decide upon. What is the theme of your presentation? You might need to massage it as you prepare, but you've got to have an overarching point or a few main points that you deliver, because it's in those points that your audience gets the value of the presentation. If you make too many points, they're not going to remember them. If you make too few points, it's going to be boring. You need to make enough overarching points or big picture points that you can drill down on the detail, but at the end of the day, deliver a message that people are going to remember. It's from that theme that the content you've analysed is going to be drilled down and selected and partitioned so that you can deliver an effective presentation with a memorable and understandable message for your audience. Doesn't matter the topic, pick a theme. I do this every presentation, and everyone always comes in away knowing exactly what it was I wanted to talk about. Final tip, and this should be self-evident, but apparently it's not, do not write out your presentation. Don't write it out on the slides, which I said before, but don't write it out at all. If you've learned your content, like I said in tip 1, if you have a broad and deep understanding, then you don't need to memorize everything. What you need to know is the order and the structure of your presentation. You need to have decided on your theme, and that's going to help direct what content goes into your presentation and also the structure of it. But don't write out word for word what you intend to say. This is a huge mistake that some public speakers make, and it makes for boring, unengaging, and frankly, annoying presentations where people end up simply reading from the paper that they're using as a crutch. Now, I know a lot of people get worried that they're going to forget what they're going to say. That's why you've decided on a theme. That's why you've learned your content really well. And that's why you've got the PowerPoint slides to give you a cue for what comes next on the off chance that you forget. But here's what happens if you write it down. You end up reading from it. No matter how well you think you know it, you end up reading from it because you get worried and you're just sitting there staring at a piece of paper rather than making eye contact with your audience or looking out or engaging or seeing questions. If you write it out in full, you're going to deliver a bad presentation. The content might be fantastic, but you will be a bad presenter. You've got to know your content well enough to deliver the presentation, and that will give you everything you need, provided you've got a good theme and a good structure, and if you need it, you've got your backup slides. If you write your presentation out, it's going to be bad. You'll just have to trust me and try it. Take a leap of faith. I know a lot of people are nervous about public speaking, but when you get nervous, if you've written it down and lose your place, that's when things go awry. But if you know your content and you know your theme, you're going to deliver a better presentation. That's all I had today. Those are my tips. That's what I do to deliver an effective presentation, and I've done it a lot. I hope they've helped you out. If you've got any questions about presentations, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.